This week in space news, we cover Interstellar Technologies, a Japanese space startup getting support from the Japanese government. In our second news story, Firefly Aerospace has recently clinched a major contract from NASA to launch a weather satellite. Third are updates from Sirius Space Services, a French space startup company. Lastly, we'll learn the latest updates from Latitude Space, another French startup making strides in the space industry. Okay, let's get started. Japanese space startup Interstellar wins a contract. Japan's commercial rocket startup scene is beginning to take off, driven by Interstellar Technologies Inc., a company with aspirations to become Japan's first startup to successfully launch a rocket. The Japanese government has just provided them with a grant for 4.63 billion yen, that's $32.5 million. Japan has rocket vehicles already, the H2 vehicles built by Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, and is developing the next generation H3 vehicle. These vehicles, though, are traditional, established rocket vehicles representing collaboration between a large corporation and the Japanese government. On the other hand, Interstellar is a private space startup that hopes to provide new commercial launch opportunities. The financial boost follows a previous grant of 2 billion yen, that's $14 million a year ago, aimed at enhancing Japan's domestic launch capabilities. The Japanese government wants to grow the domestic launcher market to support 30 launches per year. Interstellar Technologies CEO Takehiro Inagawa highlighted the need for more launch opportunities. To address this, Interstellar is developing the Zero rocket, designed for high-frequency, low-cost launches, with a target debut as early as 2025. The Zero rocket, a two-stage vehicle measuring 32 meters in height and 2.3 meters in diameter, with a total weight of 71 tons. It's powered by 10 engines, 9 in the first stage and 1 in the second, using liquid oxygen and biomethane derived from cattle manure for fuel. The rocket's payload fairing, with a height of 5 meters and a diameter of 2.3 meters, can accommodate up to 800 kilos to low Earth orbit and 250 kilos to Sun-synchronous orbit. Once fully operational, Zero is posed to offer competitive pricing, potentially undercutting Rocket Lab's Electron, the market leader for small satellite launches. Next up, Firefly wins another contract. Firefly wins contract for weather satellite from NASA. NASA has chosen Firefly Aerospace to handle the launch for the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's Quick Sounder mission. The Quick Sounder mission provides essential weather data to NOAA's National Weather Service, improving capabilities in weather prediction, disaster response, and climate monitoring. This mission is aimed at introducing a new generation of small environmental satellites, with Quick Sounder being the first satellite in this series. This collaboration with Firefly Aerospace, the first of its kind for a NOAA satellite, highlights the trust in Firefly's launch capabilities for important government missions. The collaboration extends beyond the launch, with both NASA and NOAA engaging with the private sector to design and build spacecraft and instruments for this new weather network. This approach promises faster, potentially more cost-effective missions using the latest cutting-edge technology, markedly different from the traditional, more prolonged development cycles of past NOAA satellites. Okay, on to our third news segment. Sirius Space Services update. The CEO of Sirius Space Services, Antoine Foucard, was at the World Space Business Week conference last week. He gave us some updates on their progress to launching their first orbital vehicle. He said the first launch is expected in 2026 and will be suborbital. The first orbital launch attempt will be in 2027. They are planning on recovering the first stage, quote, from the first flight, with parachutes, with the goal to achieve full reusability within 10 years. They plan to build the launch pad ready-made. This will likely be the launch pad in Australia, run by Equatorial Launch Australia, as we reported on last week. They are currently producing 1 engine per month. He stated that their Star 1 engine runs on methalox, that is methane and liquid oxygen. We'll keep you informed on their progress and plan on a video covering Sirius Space Services in more depth soon. Okay, on to our last news segment this week, which is another French space startup company. Latitude Space Update. CEO of Latitude, Stanislas Maximin, gave an update at the World Space Business Week conference. The Naviair engine that powers the Zephyr rocket has 45 kilonewtons of thrust and costs less than €100,000 per engine. Latitude currently has no plans to reuse the Zephyr. they have €100 million of financing. He said our first launch will probably explode and maybe the second one will work, which has been bought by the French Space Agency. First launch is expected in 2025 and he believes their first successful launch will be in 2026. Okay, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe so you will see upcoming videos. We make videos every week covering the space industry, with an emphasis on the smaller space startups that aren't covered so well on other channels. See you soon.